Hello there, everyone. How's it going? It's absolutely amazing to get to talk to you on my second podcast. Dude, the reception that I received from posting out on Twitter about the podcast was unreal. Like, thank you so much. If you retweeted or liked or asked, yo, when the fuck am I getting on the podcast, bro? Thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it, and I will do my very best to get as many people on as possible. I don't think it has to be anyone that's like, you know, absolutely defined and has like a massive project happening or whatever. I think it would be nice just to have it's certainly in the beginning of the podcast, like just to get as many people on that are homies and people that are doing things. I don't know, like it doesn't have to be someone that's like super insanely popular and knowledgeable and stuff. It can just be the homies, even though of course the homies are always going to be super popular. But what I mean is, like, you don't have to have some massive project happening in order to get on the podcast, especially right now when it's in very early days. So we'll just get the boys and the girls and everyone in between on to just talk. I think that'll be good fun. I had such an issue just there trying to get my fucking 𝗦𝗹à𝗶𝘁𝗵 192/4 audio interface up and working. I don't know, it just I decided to, I turned it on, and there was just so much feedback. It was just a big, just static in my ear, and like the microphone is a little bit temperamental. This is about 6 years old, this microphone. I don't think it's that old, actually. It's probably about 4 or 5 years old. And I think it's getting to the last of its lifespan. But us boomers, because I'm also a boomer now at the ripe old age of 24. JK lol, right? I don't know. It's I'm pushing on as far as I can go with it. We'll see. It's a very good microphone. MXL990 is what it is. I've had it for years. I've done all my voice acting, all of my streaming with this microphone. It's always been the bad boy that's I don't know, just being with me. I love it very much. And of course I've got the seagull sock on it. That is like a staple now. Absolute staple of my streaming and content creation is me having a fucking sock. But for some reason, I say for some reason, not really. I know exactly why. The reason that's been the same sock for a good while is I just haven't been arsed to take it off yet. Reason being is I've already got like a band over it and some TwitchCon things. Everything's tightened up on it. So it's a bit of a hassle to change it. And the thing is it was never on my foot in the first place. So the only thing that this sock has had to deal with is my copious amounts of spit whenever I'm screaming at things on the internet. That's really it. It doesn't have any sweaty feet in it, so it smells fine. Well, it doesn't smell of anything actually. It's just kind of like bland, just pure air. So it is what it is. I also have drawn a smiley face in this sock, and I'm scared if I put it in the wash, then it might go away. And that would be absolute painful. I haven't even named him, to be fair. Well, I say the seagull's probably called Sally the seagull, just because of the fact that was what we called the seagull that was on the lamppost when we were streaming once. And I turned the camera around and showed everyone Sally the seagull, and then Sally flew away, and it was heartbreaking. It really was. I had too much alcohol last night, far too much. So I'm drinking tea. Listen. Exactly. See. Yes. This happens to me every year, combined with being inside during a goddamn pandemic where you can't go out, or, there's very little other things to do in the house except for get absolute pissed. Come on, it's a pandemic, it's a great excuse. Especially when you're Scottish, you find any excuse to drink. However, Christmas, New Year, and my birthday all happen within 12 days. Like, the 12 days of Christmas, I'm just absolute bluttered. Especially having my mum and dad up here, my little brother as well. It's been a bit too much, dude. So I'm settling myself down. Okay, I need to have a steadfast put my foot down, fucking stomping it, man, to say, yo, I need to slow down on how much alcohol I'm actually tanking here, dude. Yeah, I just feel shit, dude. Just feel kind of lethargic, obviously, and I don't know, I really like red wine, but I'm overdoing it, mate. And I think I'm watching, The Last Kingdom and The Witcher and all that. It doesn't help, because they're always drinking ale, more ale, Definitely, like, there's always that shit. And, like, because I'm so alone here by myself, I need to drink with the guys on the screen, Like, how else do I do that? That sounds so sad, doesn't it? I mean, is it any different than drinking with the boys in Discord? I suppose it is, actually, because you're actually talking to those people and interacting and stuff. I don't know. It is what it is. But yes, thank you so much for actually caring about the podcast. I think that's going to be really cool. Shout out to 𝗦𝗶𝗁 as well. She said that she was going to re-listen to the podcast whilst doing some knitting. So hello there, 𝗦𝗶𝗁, if you happen to be here right now. What's happening? How are you? I hope you're smiling today and everything's going a lot more smooth sailing for you. Yeah, also, we did a premiere on YouTube. So literally... what time is it? 5 p.m. yesterday is when I premiered it. So basically what that is it's like you basically create a live stream of a video. On YouTube, so it gets scheduled for a certain time, and then you can tell people that like to jump in, and then you can just sit there in like basically a waiting lobby. But the chat's there, and then you can just talk and then watch the video together. So it was good fun. Like I actually really appreciated that anyone gave enough of a fuck to be there. So yeah, thank you very much if you did. It's just good fun starting a podcast. I have a different way to kind of express my thoughts and get my mind out without like I don't know like someone said. It's like listening to you without the interruption of chat. I've never seen chat as an interruption, unless I'm memeing or something, like obviously I'll say like, oh my god, chat. Like that's obviously just for the crack. But yeah, I don't know. I think that is a good way to put it, but at the same time, it's like, it feels rude to say that, the interruption of chat, but, it does make sense because obviously if you're watching or listening back to a VOD on Twitch, and that you might not catch the meaning between like when someone says something in chat and then I reply to it, because usually you read out the entire message, but sometimes you don't or whatever, or you just say like part of it, and you miss a lot of context. So whenever you don't have a chat at all, and it's just purely from the listening experience that you get here, and if there's a guest on as well, then it's a lot easier to follow, I think, a lot easier to put on the background and enjoy, So yeah, thank you very much if you have been here and you have enjoyed me rambling on. Yeah, I don't know, dude, like this... I think this is going to go somewhere. I feel like it's exciting. I'm not saying... You know what? Like, I've always wanted to do a podcast. I was going to say there, maybe I've got, a little bit of imposter syndrome, but not really, man. Like, I feel like I'm at this stage now where I should have a podcast. I should be doing this. I'm certainly capable, and I know a lot of good people out there, so I think it would be amazing to just, get down some thoughts. And I was thinking about this as well. There's a lot of people that I've checked up on during the pandemic, and like here and there, maybe an Instagram story I reply to or whatever. But I haven't had a proper in-depth conversation with a lot of people. I mean, a select few I have, but not the amount of people that I could most likely get on the podcast. So, yeah, there's a lot of good content to come. So thank you for being here in the very beginning. This is episode 2. Can you believe that already? Oh my god. And like, technically, right, I did record the podcast on Monday. Like the first one, and then I released it yesterday, so on Wednesday. However, I'm recording this on a Thursday, but I kind of feel like I want to release this maybe tonight, just to get out there. I could release it on Friday. I don't know, like an actual schedule would be quite stonks, like maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Is that good? I suppose, yeah. And then the other days I'm streaming as well. I don't know, like last night we did a huge stream. It was like 7 hours long. I got absolute pissed though. I'm so adept at getting pissed listening to mad traditional music and vibing out with chat. It was so much fun, actually. Like, I don't know, those kind of streams are always my favorite. I think whenever I don't know, it's nice, dude. Everyone just gets to experience something together as I'm a react Andy to whatever's happening. And I think I'm pretty good at putting in actual content with that instead of just sitting in the background watching it. You know what I'm saying? But obviously you're still utilizing the fact that people can see you, so like I can make faces, or I can like slink down in my chair, or like, you know, you dance around like a fucking idiot. You know, just like hopefully bring a smile, or at least make someone realize that I'm much more of a fanny and far more cringe than they are, and then that, you know, brightens their day. That tends to be what my entire content is, to be actually honest with you. But yes, I'm glad I fixed my audio driver, dude, because I've had a lot of issues with that before. That my Focusrite Solo, I still have it. It looks gorgeous. It's like a red encased, like red metal encased little box. It's so beautiful, but I always have problems with it. Yeah, and it died one day on me when I desperately needed it, and I did not have the money to replace it. And then one of the homies came in clutch to help me. Thank you very much, Harley. An early Christmas present is what he said. I think that was the biggest Christmas present I received, except from your wonderful listening ears. But for real, like, thank you so much, dude. Like, you wouldn't be able to hear me without that. I remember saying that, like, when I plugged it in. We were talking a voice call. I was like, Harley, you're the only reason I have a voice right now. You gave me a voice, you know. You gave me a voice, which is good. It seems to be a very good audio interface. M-Audio is apparently a brilliant brand. Whenever I mention this to anyone that knows what the fuck they're talking about, they're like, yeah, that's actually really on point. So I'm glad that I actually have something that most likely will last a while. I just think it's my microphone that's going to start dying first. It did die for a while before, but I think it might have also been the Focusrite. But yeah, it was like, there was things like where it would just randomly peak, like go absolute insane and cut out for like 5 to 10 seconds. There was other moments where it was going and like making noises. We were making fun of it, you know, making as much light as we could, because it was happening on stream and stuff, like, you know, just saying that it was, you know, like a ghost inside like my booth, because this house is old, man. Like, if you're not aware of the story, basically I was in Glasgow working, and then the pandemic hit, and I had to come back home because my friend, I was in my friend's flat, and he had to live back in the flat because he was away for a few months until about June or July, and this was in March time. So I came back to live with my mum and dad, and that was just basically going to be it for the foreseeable future. But then, sadly, my granda passed from my mum's side. He was 93, he was going through some complications and stuff, and he had a beautiful life. Big 𝗏𝗏, absolute lad, dude. How you doing? You know, it's a wild, calm day. You know, absolute boy. He like has stories of him heading out to South America on the tugboats, making sure that all those big boats can get through the Panama Canal and that, man. It's fucking amazing. Like, the stories that man had. The thing is like, I don't know, like, I actually recorded one on an old phone. Like, I think this is super important, and you should do it if you still have grandparents, or even your mum and dad, you know, just people around you that you adore, like father and mother figures, and just, you know, good people. It's always lovely to have recordings. Like, I just literally just recorded it, like, put on the record, sat the phone on the armrest, and yeah, just let him talk to me, you know, and just so I could record his voice and his stories and have them there. It was really nice, dude. But he wouldn't ever tell me everything because I was younger. You see, that I realized that as I grew older. Like, my big brother knows more stories, or he was told things earlier than all of us, which makes sense, you know, it does make sense, but it was always interesting to hear his point of view, rather than just mine. So it was who it is, but I think it's really interesting. But yeah, because he passed away, this house was vacant, which meant that I then had to, I had an opportunity to come and live here. And I did. And it means that the heating's kept on, you know, the place won't go into rack and ruin, someone's looking after it, and my mum and dad were selling their house, so the fact that they're selling their house means that they don't necessarily have room for me to stay in an empty house, you know what I'm saying? So it's worked out for the better. Obviously, it was never planned, but you've got to, in times like this. Oh, Eurotalk went in the wrong window here. Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna need to pull that over. Can I just, like, do this? No, it didn't work. Can I pull that over? Fuck, I don't know if I can. Shit. Hold on, I'll just pull it over so you guys can see this. Sorry, you were just literally looking at my Spotify for that entire time. So yeah, it's worked out for the better that I now live here, by myself. But Mum and Dad have been with me, as I'm saying, from Christmas Eve until about 3 days ago. They went away. There's been a bit of complications for their yo, are you gonna work, bro? This game character's just been a fanny for me today, sorry. Is it gonna work now? Gonna work, bro? Do I need to change it? What the fuck? Right, hold on. I need to change it again. Real close. It was nice to get to live with Mum and Dad again, you know? But at the same time, I don't know. I have very much realized. I think I realized this a long time ago, though. Like, I am a solo liver. I love living by myself. I do have the cats here now, though, which is gorgeous because they're just like, you know, little beings you can have, you know, company with. Whereas I realized, like, when I was by myself for the 3 months here, I was going through grieving a lot, actually. Like, I was, you know, just lost my granda. I lost my other granda as well a month before that. I've been uprooted from Glasgow. I lost a job. I'd had a mental breakdown in April. I don't know what the fuck happened to me. Just so much compiled up, and I just imploded. And then, yeah, I was here and I just got drunk, like, all the time, dude. It was actually kind of mad how often I was just steaming. But I was very functional. I'm a very functional drunk. It is what it is. But yeah, I've slowed way down, but because of Christmas and New Year and my birthday, I knew it was going to happen. I've consumed a lot of beer, a lot of wine, not too much whiskey. I'm trying to slow down in the whiskey, just because it's amazing how easily I can drink whiskey, but how much it fucks you up, dude. So yeah, I've been able to slow down on that, and frankly, it's not as enjoyable as it once was, like, because I'm not doing it with other people, you know. I'm just drinking to get drunk, or drinking just to drink, just to have something tasty. So yeah, I'm gonna get my fucking shit together from today. I'm still gonna have a beer here and there, like on stream we have this redeemable thing called just go get a beer. So like that, I'll do that, but yeah. Drinking bottles and bottles a night is never good for you. My mum was actually concerned as well, and I was like, well, shit, dude, if my mum is even saying, like, I mean, because, like, we all drink in the family, but she's saying, yo, you need to, like, slow down a little bit. And I'm like, you're right enough. So, yeah, get myself back on track, I think, is the most important thing to do here. Hopefully this Euro Truck works out. We're actually in the middle of a job, aren't we? I'm pretty certain we can finish it today. We'll get through it. But it was quite good. I think, like, how do you like this idea of having the visual background of Eurotruck? I think that's quite good. I don't know, like, if I'm to get a guest on, I don't think I'll actually live play it. I think I'll maybe, I don't know exactly how to do it. I think it would probably be better just to record the podcast, just me talking to them, like in a voice call, you know, just easily done. I could, I suppose, get the cameras on, but I always find it so cringe, like, whenever people aren't together, and it's just their webcams that you're looking at, and they're not looking at each other, because obviously, like, the way webcams look, it looks like they're just looking at the screen, or out of the screen. It never feels like it's wholesome and together and cozy, and that people are actually interacting. But on voice, you can imagine they are. Like, if you think of radio, there's so many times you get radio talk shows and you know they're together or whatever, but, like, they could very much easily, in fact, right now they're like in different studios, or some of them are at home talking, and it's all connected up, like, live, but it sounds like they're still all together. So with voice call, you can very much keep things together, whereas whenever there's a webcam there, and, like, especially when it's not, like, well lit and stuff, it just kind of feels like the video is just a waste of time. So I think the main content, I mean, it's a podcast, it's not a watchcast or whatever the fuck you'd say, you know. So the main thing is the voice and what's being said rather than what you're seeing. So this is always just, like, in the background. I think that's a better way to do it. But the reason I'm doing Eurotruck is because I am a gamer. I do streaming on twitch.tv/Mr. Stefan Lee. Like, that's where I do what I do, and this is a game I've played a lot of, like, over 600 hours now, and it's basically what I'm talking about right now, but live. I'm going to take a sip of my tea because it's getting fucking cold, man, I'm telling you. That's another thing, actually. See, whenever you're talking shit, and you've got a cup of tea, and you don't have someone else to like bounce thoughts off of, I want to fill up the dead air as much as I can. So I never get to drink my tea whenever it's warm. Terrible, dude. Honestly, that's a proper first world problem, that, I think. Yeah. Speaking of which, I'll tell you what I'll do. The thing is, right, I need to go for a pee right now. I think I can pause this recording. I've never paused a recording in my life, but I think you can pause this and then just resume it, and it all stays in the same file. Because what fucked up previously is, you know, when I went away, I don't know if you listened to the last podcast, you'll have heard it, but my uncle called me, and so I answered the phone. Turns out that he was just coming up to the house to collect something, so I had to make sure the door was unlocked, and I got the thing for him, and then I gave him the thing, and we had a wee chat and that. So there was like a gap in the video that I had to edit. But I had to edit that, render it out in Premiere Pro, and then re-upload it, and it added so much extra hours, like the whole render and editing process. It wasn't even that much, it was literally just a slice, cut, and then pull it down. But like, I think it would be so much better if I just keep this as one video as much as possible. Yeah, I think, like, obviously there's no overlays on this or anything, it's literally just me talking. But yeah, I think that would be a lot better if I just try and keep it as condensed as possible. And via the magic of the pause button, hopefully I'll be able to actually go for peas and it'll be alright. So yeah, I'll BRB then. I'll see you on the other side, alright? I don't know if that worked. Okay, now I'm fairly certain that did work. However, I clicked it a fair few times because whenever you click the pause button, it doesn't actually then show you a play button. So I assumed that it hadn't worked, so I kept clicking it. It was like but yeah, I think it did work because down the bottom beside the record thing, it was like it just had a pause thing and it was flashing on and off. So sorry if you hear me go in and out a little bit there, but it shouldn't be for too long actually. It is what it is. Anyway, let's go finish this journey, guys, and see what's happening. But yeah, I hope you have been having an absolute glorious 21 as much as you possibly can be, man. What a fucking year, am I right, dude? I've got these lights, right, that are beautiful. I love them. But I keep getting tangled up in these lights. I have been forever plagued with lights tangling up and being tangled around me. If you're a proper OG here, you will know that on Christmas 2018, I think, yeah, it would have been Christmas 2018, I literally spent 3 hours on stream untangling Christmas lights, and then at the very end, I realised that it wasn't a plug-in Christmas light, but a solar panel Christmas light. And so I couldn't even use it. So, I've always had shit that's been tangled up. And right now, these lights, they're nice, but fuck, man, they're literally attached to my shoe right now. I need to fucking fix this. Jesus, man. There we go, right. Fucking get out of there. There we go, we're fine now. Anyway, let's go do this. And if you're wondering how fucking I'm a divine champion, by the way, my rating's 10 out of 10. Now, the secret fact of the matter is, right, is I did actually, well, my truck here, I did buy all that fair and square from previous, right? I did everything correct, and I didn't hack the game, and I made sure to, pay off my loans and get a really nice truck. However, I reset my PC, and when I reset my PC, I lost my profile, and everything got reset, so I was like, I can either hard grind again to build my truck, or I just hack the game and then buy back my truck again, and I was like, fuck it, dude, I'm just hacking this, I've been through it, we've done this all already, so yeah, this is like a new save, but it's, actually, wait, 𝗦𝗹à𝗶𝘁𝗵, hold on, do I still have this other job? If I click drive it, well, I say free as the wind, or it will say what we're doing. Free as the wind? What happened to our job? Oh, did I think I loaded another save for something. Why did I do that? I think I remember loading another save for something. Hold on. If I pull this back, we might be able to get that save back that we were on. I literally called it the podcast. I think you probably saw that at the end. The Stefan Lee Podcast. So confirmed guests that we can have on are 𝗻𝗹à𝗶𝘁𝗵, who is a DJ on Twitch TV. I've known his little brother 𝗻𝗹à𝗶𝘁𝗵 just slightly longer than him, and that's how I ended up meeting him. I went to Berlin with his little brother Joe, as well as in London. We're just good mates. And yeah, I've met 𝗻𝗹à𝗶𝘁𝗵 Edinburgh. His real name's Ollie. Oliver Eaton is his DJ name. He's an absolute lad, man. Honestly, he's popping off. He's really he's got such energy, and the lifeblood of that guy for his craft, man, is beautiful to see. It's so, like, you just watch someone that's so impassioned with what they're doing, and it just gives you energy. Honestly, that man is really on point. So yeah, we're gonna have him on, and there'll be lots to talk about regarding his career and where he's at, and why he's on Twitch, and how he's getting on during the pandemic. Obviously a lot of DJs can't. There we go, we got the job back. A lot of DJs can't work right now just because of the fact that everywhere's closed. So how that's working out, how he's been able to afford stuff. Like, I kind of know some of these things, but I kind of just want him to explain it. It's more like, I think that is how you kind of do podcasting, right? Whenever you're with friends, you've got to. Oh yes, remember we parked inside the bus stop. I remember that. Let's start the engine up. Hold on. It's gonna look kind of cool whenever we turn this on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, listen to that. It's quite loud actually, isn't it? I'll turn that down a bit. It's too loud. I could just turn it down natively actually. Oh, it's at 100. Oh Jesus, that's kind of crazy. Dude, settle down here. Settle down, Stefan. Slow that down. There we go. It doesn't need to be loud at all. But yeah, like, whenever you're doing podcasts with people that you actually do know and you have some fun with their story, you need to ask questions and lead into conversation that makes them explain it all. You don't just end up, outlaying their entire synopsis. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've just got to have a conversation. And frankly, I was thinking about this, man. Like, see, whenever you do meet old friends, you tend to actually talk about the same things a lot. Like, that is, you just kind of reminisce together. You go through a nostalgic path together. So, yeah, I certainly think that that's how I'm going to approach this. I'm not going to, have a list of questions and stuff. Some people were asking that, it'd be good to have, a proper structure. And I realized, I am not a structured person. That's pretty evident at this point, I think, because I'm very disorganized. However, it's I could, without a doubt, improvise, adapt, and actually lead conversations in ways that I want them to go, that are both beneficial for myself and the guest, to get good content and just good fun out of. I'm not going to overthink it at all, because if I do that, then I start trying to overplan. And whenever you overplan, you kind of end up missing a lot of opportunity just to dive in and get things done. And frankly, I am sick and tired of not getting things done anymore. I have so much ambition within me, but over 2020, I feel I've just lost a lot of opportunity from not acting on things, So yeah, I'd like to just fucking fly in and see what happens. And of course, you can always get those people back on. So. And that'll be quite nice to have recording guests. I really like True to be on. My friend True, I met him in California at TwitchCon San Jose, which is just south of San Francisco. My first ever time meeting people from online that I've never seen before or had no reason to know except from, being on Twitch and playing games together. My first time in another continent, because, I think so. Yeah, I'm fairly certain. Technically, I was beside Africa, because I went to the Canary Islands. Is that in Africa? But, I mean, it's not, is it? Maybe it is, land-wise, but not. It's obviously Spanish, so it is what it is. Actually, I suppose I went to Cyprus, and that's the Middle East, right? So, yeah, but that was with my family. Does that really count? I've always thought about this, actually. See, whenever you end up going on holiday with your family when you're younger, you're not really in control. You're obviously just tagging along with your mum and dad to see what they want to do, and you're just part of it. Obviously, they'll go to water parks. They'll keep in mind that they've got children with them. But whenever you travel by yourself, man, it's so different. I really realized that when I walked across northern Spain. I'd been to Spain, and I'd seen parts of it growing up. But it was always just blisteringly hot. You're always in sunglasses in the pool, drinking orange juice that was just squeezed, or going to volcanoes, because it was the Gran Canaria. It's, way down there where it's all volcanic rock. And it's really interesting. I loved it. But I realized, like, when I was doing it by myself, I was like, whoa, this is totally different. I'm so much more in control. I say what's happening, as well as the fact that you're switching out the orange juices for beers now. So, some cervezas. So it's good, man. Like, I love the fact that I've been able to travel by myself and change things up. But, like, I do count that I've been to those places, like Cyprus and Portugal and whatnot. But it doesn't feel like I've actually traveled in it, I just feel I've been there. Whenever people say, like, yeah, dude, I did China, man. Like, you did China because you went there for a week and you saw one wall. It's like, yeah, bro. Like, I hate whenever people try and, like, tick off places like that and just belittles it. I mean, you'll never see everything, but you can sure as fuck give it a good try. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit harder to travel right now, though, to be fair. Just one of those things where you kind of got to be a lot more careful. I don't know. I don't even have any real... I don't think it's wise for me to travel right now. I think the best thing for me right now is to make sure that I make as much content as possible. Actually try and do something with my Twitch account this year. Like, really push it and get some better hours, a proper schedule, and just get things fucking done in, like, not just my Twitch as well, like, just my entire content creator sphere, because I really haven't... I've just been coasting. I've just been existing. I don't feel I've really been trying to thrive. And I know I can. I know I'm pretty decent at what I do now. And I know that people tend to like how I sound and my banter and whatnot. I'm not trying to, like, big myself up. I am a little bit, though, because I feel good about how I do stuff. Like, I like rewatching my VODs or listening back to my podcast. However, I say that, yesterday when I was listening back, I kept shaking my head like, you're a fanny, Stefan. But the thing is, there was also jokes, right, that I could hear were being led up to, and I immediately thought about what joke should be said, and then I actually did say it on the podcast. And I was like, fuck yes, good stuff, because then, I'm actually enjoying hearing myself back, I don't know, because a lot of people say that they don't like the sound of their voice or whatever, or they don't want to hear their voice, it makes them cringe or whatever. I still kind of get that. See, if I hear my voice and it's not, I don't know, like, say it's going through a headphones or something and it sounds really tinny, I sound super high pitched and it reminds me of how I used to be, and I don't like that. I'm like, oh god, is that really how I sound, man? Does that affect how people think of me if I sound like that? But yeah, look at this tunnel, by the way. This is nice. But yeah, like, I do know who I am nowadays compared to when I was back then. But yeah, I need to do more. I need to sort out how I'm actually stationing myself within content creation, because it's been long enough now that I need to start taking this properly seriously. Not going to change any of my content per se, just add more to it and have more of a structure, instead of it just being like, oh, I'll just throw this up there, oh, I'll just go live at this point, and I'll just, like, jump around and kind of, like, not worry too much about time. I think it's important to create at least a starting time, at least a schedule of uploading. It doesn't have to be like an absolute, like, defined time for like when it gets uploaded, but it should be a day. It should be like, expect it to be up at this point, and then I'll narrow it down and down and down as it goes. And especially, like, if I'm interviewing, or not interviewing, that feels weird, or just having people on that are in different countries and time zones, I've obviously got to take that into account when it comes down to upload times, because if you're in oh Jesus, oh goodness, oh okay, we just made that one. That was a bit tight. Yeah, so if someone's in America and they're like 5 to 8 hours behind you or whatever, you got to, like, take that into account whenever you get to talk to them. But yeah, and I think I need to have an actual rigid schedule for stream. I do need days off stream. I've realized this. I can't be that. I can't just push it out so it's 7 days a week, like, absolute smashing it. The thing is, though, right, is I've been trying too hard to compare it to, like, a proper job. Like, most jobs you do for 8 hours a day. You could, certainly people do stream for 8 hours a day, but the way I am an entertainer, I don't think I can actually sustain that whatsoever. After 4 hours, man, I am tired, because I'm always talking, I'm always trying to make people laugh, I'm always, like, pushing for it. Whereas I think a lot of people that stream for, like, 8+ hours a day, they're playing a game, they're focusing, they're not talking as much, there isn't as much interaction there. It's more they're just kind of streaming. obviously there's exceptions to that. Some people are super interactive, and you know, if you're doing a 12-hour or 24-hour special stream or whatever, you know, like there's always going to be moments like that where it's just pure high octane all the time. And some people are just built different, bro. Like that Lunky guy, am I right? You may not understand that. Lunky's a good guy. He's a moderator in a friend's community, and I actually moderated him yesterday. If you're not unaware what a moderator is on Twitch, it's basically someone that can ban people or delete people's messages, or, you know, do certain commands, like say if someone raids you. So a raid is if someone brings over their viewers to you from their own stream, which is a really good feature, by the way. Like, it's a lot better, sorry mate, it's a lot better than just, you know, throwing away those people. You kind of put them somewhere else, which is really nice. It gets to, you know, make people find other Twitch streamers and stuff. It's cool, I like that. But yeah, so the moderators can like shout them out and stuff. Well, basically there's been a big meme that he's a much better mod, and he was just never moderated on my channel. And then I said, alright, okay, so we're going to get a poll up in order to see if people want Lunky to be mod. And then it went no. So, and I felt bad. I was like, oh, my Lunky dunk, dude. So what I did is I said, right, if you win your gamble all, so you also have a stream currency. Basically, it's not real, it's just like a accumulated fake, not fake, I would just like a loyalty system. So whenever you're in there, you get, say, 100 points every 10 minutes or 300 every 10 minutes if you're a subscriber or whatever. And if you subscribe or give money, you get more of them as well. It's a nice wee like incentive thing. It's cool. And it's a wee game you can play as well. You can gamble all, so you can see if you can double it or you lose them all, and you can just gain points, and it's good fun, you know. There isn't really much to it except from, you know, I don't know, you can like duel other people or whatever. It's good fun. It's good crack, you know. And you can also play sounds if you have enough, and redeem various other things. So it's good. It's a good system. And yeah, he gambled all and he lost, right? So I was like, oh god, well that's it, the fate. And then I was like, no, I'll give him third time lucky, a third chance. And I made him duel me, so he had to verse me and take me on, and he won. And since he won, I was like, well, you've slayed the king, so you now have to have a sword. So you've got a little sword, but like that's what the moderation badge is. It's a wee sword. It's really nice. So he's now in there. But then, on my friend's community, he banned my friend. He banned my friend from my community immediately because like she's the streamer. So, like, he can't ban her in her own channel, but he can ban her in my channel. So, yeah, it was quite funny. But then I was, like, being over the top, trying to say that the kingdoms are clashing now, and strike fury down upon thee and all that. It was good fun. Just like a medieval roleplay all of a sudden. It was good crack. But yeah, I like little things like that on Twitch. You know, you make your own fun from it. Like, I think taking it all too seriously is never fun. I don't know. I mean, like, I'll see how things develop over time. Like, another thing as well is, like, to get Twitch partner, you have to have 75 average viewers. I do not have that. I have about 20 or so, which is, you know, it is what it is. Like, it's still a lot of people. Like, I always like to think it's, whoever is in stream, I imagine I'm standing on stage and they're all in front of me as the audience. 20 people is still a decent audience, you know. It's still like enough to have some form of influence. It's cool. It's a lot different than 20,000, obviously, but you know, that is how it is. But yeah, once I get partner, you can change your name. And I was thinking of just purely making it Steffi, instead of just Mr. Stefan Lee. Like, I've had Mr. Stefan Lee for a long time. About 2.5 years now, but I always wanted Steffi or Stefan, just because it's a lot cleaner and it's just a nicer name. I mean, it kind of sums me up a lot better too. And also you get emotes on there, so like emojis that you get in your phone, but you get them on Twitch itself. Is this guy going to turn left? Dude, I swear down, the lorries AI on this are just awful. They always just turn into your lanes and everything, man. I'm telling you, it's totally not me driving recklessly, without a doubt, right? Yeah, what was I going to say? Yes, so I'm want to change my name over, because right now, whenever I put an emote out, you get like a prefix, and mine is Mr. Stef, and I don't like the fact that it starts with an M. I would much prefer it just said Steffi or Stefan. Like, so there's one, like, it's my little guy holding a love heart, so it's Mr. Stef Love. It sounds good to say that right now because I've said that so much, but like Steffi Love or Stefan Love would be a lot cleaner. It'd be a lot easier to remember as well, and it just looked nicer, if I'm being honest. So Yeah, like whenever I eventually do get a partner, I think that'll be one of my first protocols. I don't know if it should be Steffi or Stefan. I think it should be Steffi because that's what I have in like all my other gaming stuff. So like Activision and Valorant and stuff. You know, it's always Steffi. So I just like that name. I think it's nice and it comes off the tongue well. So yeah, I'll be getting that for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's really going on with me right now. I think having guests on is going to be pretty poggers, dude. Because of the fact that I can actually explore other people's thoughts. Because like, dude, this bad pandemic, like days are just molding into the same right now. I realized that I just hadn't kept track of what day it was for ages. I was, oh my days, dude, like that. I think that's actually quite dangerous. You end up getting into like this mad kind of state of not knowing what day it is at any point, especially whenever you have a mental sleep schedule. You're like, okay, it's like 3 a.m, but what day is it? And then, you know, you say tomorrow, but you actually mean the same day, but you're now going to sleep at 6 a.m. So, you know, you wake up and it's already dark again. Like, it's a recipe for disaster, man. And I think I did hit that. Like, in the beginning of December, I was not in a good place at all. I just didn't feel myself for about 2 weeks, so I just had to hard reset. And, you know, having my mum and dad here, my little brother really did help, though, to, like, you know, lift my spirits and that. So, yeah, but aye. So they're now living in a rental house. It's really nice, though. It's a cute little cabin that's connected to another house. They're down there, and they've got, like, a stove fire and stuff and, like, a big log burner. Really cute. But they're just waiting for, basically, it's a chain. So my mum and dad's house has been bought by someone else who are also selling their house to get the money to buy my house. So it's a bit mental. But it's, yeah, like the people that are buying their house, like the people that are buying, I call them the Edinburgh people. The Edinburgh people's house has a discrepancy in the garage. There was some thing that was done that wasn't correct. So the people that were going to buy the house wanted it to be checked, and so it just put like a big spanner in the works, and it's been like an extra 2 weeks is what it looks like. So it's a bit of a shame. Like my mum and dad were obviously looking forward to starting off the new year with like a bunch of extra money in their account and moving on to a new place, but right now they're kind of in a limbo. But they'll get there. You know, it's just one of those things where you just got to keep a cool head and push forward and see how it goes. You know, I don't think it's that bad. Like, I think that it will still all go through. I hope to God, man, it would be an absolute riot if they end up not actually selling the house and having to put it back in the market. The thing that was scaring them was the fact that in delaying this, it's really petty actually. The estate agents don't like each other because they're rivals, right? So they're being super petty and saying, if you don't buy this within this allocated time, then we'll put the house back up in the market. And obviously my mum and dad had settled down in this house and really wanted it. So that's like an absolute dick move if that goes through. I don't think it will. I think it should be okay. But yeah, it's kind of like in the air a little bit. It is getting settled though, so we'll see how things go. But yeah, best of fortune to them, and hopefully it comes through and they get their stonks, you know? Like, it was quite important. Like, in the beginning, they were still wanting to get like 3 bedrooms and that. The reason they had that many bedrooms before, it was actually 4 in the beginning, but my dad knocked through one of the walls to make it, oh goodness, am I gonna crash here? No, more. Yeah, so my dad knocked through one of the walls eventually when my big brother left, but there was 3 boys there, so there had to be 4 bedrooms, you know, so we all had our own bedroom, and mum and dad had theirs. So yeah, it was they were looking for a house that was far too big, and I just said to them, look, you're not going to have any kids there. You need to stop this thought. You're moving on. Like, my little brother's 18, you know, so they just really do not need to have another bedroom there. Like, he's now in college, like he's away, living in the halls and whatnot. And if they have 1 bedroom, so it's then like a 2-bedroom house, that's always like a spare bedroom, and people can still stay there if they need to, you know, for visiting or whatever. And there'll always be the bloody living room and that to like sleep in. So it's just one of those things, man, where, you know, you haven't thought outside of that box. It just has been as it is. Dude, oh my goodness, did you see that? Whoa, I don't know if anyone saw that right there, but that bus just jumped on top of the police car there in that little glitch. That was a bit weird. That's what it is. Fuck the police, am I right? Oh goodness. But yeah, so they've got like the house is smaller, but it's cute. It's a lot cheaper. I mean, the difference between 3 and 2 bedrooms price wise is significant, and so it means that they can pay off all their debts and still have a lot of money, like profit from it. Because the way they were looking at it before, they were basically going to pay off their debts and make no money, like have no money from the house and just buy another house. Yes, it would be outright, but they would not have made any money on the other house we have. And so yeah, I thought that was not a smart idea. Oh goodness. Yeah, basically in this game you get these like diversions and like obstacles. I see them as obstacles that you have to navigate through, but it's meant to be like a closed road, and I just find my way through it, you know. I'm like, I'm not slowing down. I'm gonna let myself just continue on and get it done, you know. So always pulling it through. Aye, and if you're unaware of like what this is, if you're just listening to this on audio or you haven't ever played this game, Euro Truck is basically just a mad simulator of the entirety of Europe that you can drive through. It's not exactly to scale. It's like scale countries, but they've obviously made things more navigable. Is that the right word? So that like although it says 4 hours and 13 minutes, the actual minutes are about 3 seconds at 60 miles an hour. So like you're not actually driving for 4 hours, which I think would get boring very fast. The thing is though, is that Microsoft's Flight Simulator is accurate for that. So I think you can probably speed it up though as well. I'd love to play that game, but my PC just cannot run it, man. It's insanely demanding. Although my PC is just a wee boy, you know, who has the strength of a little girl's pinky finger, you know. Although if that little girl's Emily, my wee niece, I'd be pretty fucking strong, but this one is not. So yeah, I mean, I was realizing this. I have put this PC through some vigorous tasks. You know, I've been streaming for 2.5 years, like so many hours I've been put into this wee PC, and it was never high range to begin with, and it has dealt with most things that I've wanted it to do. But the things it hasn't is like I can't really run any game on high settings. Everything's on low most of the time. And certain games like Subnautica, Lara Croft, whatever, like just won't run on it because it's AMD instead of NVIDIA. NVIDIA tends to have some of these big games like optimized for them. So yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, but it's okay. It's okay. You can still get around it, you know, but yeah, sometimes it's just not worth, and you just have to like accept that you're not playing this game, which is always a shame. But you do have the Steam glorious refund of if you play a game under 2 hours and it's within like a decent amount of time, like say like 2 weeks or whatever, you can get it refunded, like just like that, like it's perfect. You just have to type in Steam refund and then send them like a little support ticket, and they'll give you back your money, which is really good, you know. So you can always test to see. The thing is though, is I've actually screwed myself over a couple of times by waiting in the menu screen instead of actually playing the game. So it looks like I've played 1.5 hours, but I haven't even started it. It's just been sitting in the menu screen, which is, as you can imagine, not too optimal. But it's alright, you know, you just make sure, like I've learned from that mistake, and I always make sure I can run it before I even check now before I stream, just to see like, will this run, will it be okay? Yo, that car's sick, bro. I've never seen a car with neons underneath. Dude, that used to be the thing, right? Having neon lights underneath your car. I remember growing up thinking, bro, I can't wait to get my Mazda RX-7, get neons under it, tribal designs, you know, all that shit, you know, or like the Nissan Skyline GTR from Too Fast to Furious, bro, like all that, dude. That was like peak of actual cool cars, man. And then Fast and Furious fell off and became an action movie instead of a car movie. Those first 2 films were remarkable. And Tokyo Drift, Tokyo Drift just took it somewhere else, man. It was great. Also so much fun in the soundtracks as well, bro. I still remember like the when he's inside the, like Brian walks into the, is it a club or a house party? I think it's a house party, and there's one of the main character guys is playing a guitar, and it's just going bow bow bow. That's it. Just those same 3 notes, bow bow bow. But it was so badass to me when I was like just a wee impressionable boy. I'm just a slightly taller impressionable boy now, but like it was so funny. Like thinking back, it's just like, yeah, that was like the most basic shit, but it looks so cool, man. It's just so cool to me. So yeah, it's just one of those moments, man. So we got 2 hours and 40 left in this, which is probably going to be about 20 minutes or something. I'm always going to keep these podcasts generally about an hour if it's just me. Realistically, I think that's the best shout. But yeah, like whenever there's guests, I'll just fucking see where the conversation goes and flow with it and just keep talking. I've watched enough podcasts now to kind of see where it starts to, you know, kind of, I don't know, fizzle out, like the conversation. I mean, everyone understands that whenever we're just having a conversation, like with someone, especially if it's someone new, you start to realize, like, oh, well, I better be off. You know, you need to slap your knees, kind of like, you know, right, I'll be off. It's like, yeah, anyway, you know, must be off. Oh, is that the time? You know, like that kind of stuff. I think everyone is aware of that. So I think I'm pretty decent in real life at being able to understand that and then just be like, okay, well, I'll catch you guys after. Thanks for being here. You know, and then you just boost off. You know, or whatever. I wouldn't say thanks for being here, like in a regular conversation in a pub, but, you know, you just be like, I'll catch you after, you know, and then you'd be off somewhere else, either to get another pint or leave or whatever. Pardon me. So, yeah, I think I'll need to be adamant and keep that together. I don't know, podcasting, see, thinking about it, I have been doing accidental podcasts for ages, just from streaming on Twitch, as well as just talking to the homies in voice calls, man. Like, it would be so easy. I'm flying down this road at 91 miles an hour, by the way. Let's go, dude. DPD delivery. Fast as fuck, man. But, yeah, like, just, like, chilling out, talking in voice comms and stuff. It's just fun. You know, you have a banter, you end up going to sometimes you get those conversations where everyone's just getting really involved. And I'm like, dude, this would be so good to have recorded and be just something that other people can join in on at some point, you know. Just to have it as an archive. So yeah, I'll certainly be putting that together. Yeah, I just want to record as much as I possibly can. And honestly, it's not hard to make a podcast. It's just, it's very easy to overthink it. Like, see, making the thumbnail, I know it's literally just me in black and white looking over, a little bit confused, like a poser, and it says Stefan Lee Podcast, but I needed to find something that was so simple, but effective, and you could tell what it was. So yeah, I think that's, I'll just run with that for the time being. I'm not even going to put numbers on the thumbnails because it's such a fucking hassle changing that number all the time. I know that sounds silly, but realistically as well, who gives a flying fuck what number it is? It's more what date it is, as well as when, like, or who you have on as a guest. Like, I think that's the most important thing. The thing is though, is looking at some podcasts, like the Joe Rogan podcast, I don't know most of the people, but I do look for people that I do know. But that is such a different level of, obviously, he's a very connected man and has actual people that are celebrities on there. That obviously won't happen for a long time for this podcast, but I'll have celebrities within my community and extended communities. So, you know, like various streamers and people that we know. I say celebrities and people that others are aware of. I think that would be like the best way to kind of do it. Because then you can certainly, I don't want to say the word infiltrate, but you can expand and be enriched by their communities. You know what I'm meaning? So that's always the best way to grow something. And yeah, I think this is such a refreshing way to make content, dude, because I just don't have to think about as much as I do whenever I'm streaming on Twitch. Like on Twitch, like even though I've turned off the viewer count, you're always, I need to slow down. You're always wondering, is this actually good? Are people enjoying this? Is this something that, am I feeling like this is a good use of time? You know what I'm saying? But whenever you do stuff offline and you're just chatting, it does kind of feel like you're just, you know, you're just making it as you are and there's no judgment. And then you put it out there and then you see how people respond to it. And so far, you guys have been glorious, very kind people, with the like ratio and just the comments that are available on it. The thing is, though, is some of the people I know from Twitch, but they don't have the same name. And I'm like, who are you? Because just the way they talk to me, like they're obviously evident. Can I go over the right here? I can't. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, goodness. Oh, well, that wasn't very poggers, dude. Oh, God, so if you're unaware, on Twitch, PogChamp is like one of the main emotes of all time. But the guys whose face was the previous PogChamp turned out to be like a major Trump sympathizer, and like was posting about MAGA martyrs and stuff. Like, you know, they're trying to egg on the coop thing, like motivate people to keep doing it, and that they should, that they were in the right and stuff. So he basically was cancelled and denounced, rightfully enough. I mean, that's fucking atrocious what happened there. Which is a real shame, because now his face was everywhere on Twitch. But what they've done now is they've kept the PogChamp name for the emote, but they're changing the face every 24 hours with a random streamers on the platform. I don't know exactly how the algorithm is finding these PogChamp faces, but maybe it's just emotes that already exist. I'm not sure. But so far they have not been very good. But I think we were spoiled at how good the original PogChamp was. It's just in unfortunate circumstances is obviously not usable anymore. But yeah, the second day one was the best so far. It was a girl looking to the right hand side, but the one yesterday was woeful. Actually terrible. It was just a guy with an open mouth. It wasn't even PogChamp is basically whenever you go, you look at something and you go, oh, it's just to be like, oh my god, look at that. It's just something's really cool. This one just looked bad, and it was looking the wrong way. So I was just like, what the fuck, dude? So, sometimes there will be rough ones, but I'm glad that they're integrating the community to be part of it, though, instead of, just completely cancelling it and saying, right, we're just going to pretend it doesn't exist anymore. it's actually keeping the legacy of a PogChamp alive, because people still say Pog and Poggers and Pogies and, Pog you. There's so much there just because of the fact that it's part of your vocabulary. You've been talking that way for ages. So yeah, it's good that they're keeping the community alive that way. And maybe one day I'll get on the PogChamp, I actually don't have I suppose my first ever emote that I made on Twitch was a PogChamp. I called it Stef Scott Pog. It was my face doing the PogChamp face, and then I literally just drew a Scottish flag on top of my face, in Photoshop. And then, I didn't do it in real life. It was just, a flag that was drawn right over it. It was so scuffed, dude. But it was my first ever emote, man, and I was super proud of it. So, technically, I do have a PogChamp. So maybe at some point I'll get on that, Look at that park, by the way. If you were watching that, dude, that was remarkable. Some good parking right there. Just had a sip of my stone cold tea right there. That's the thing, man. I told you about this. See, this is the thing, though. I remember I drunk my tea that was cold that my little brother had made me, and he looked at me and he said, how dare you drink that, right? I was actually streaming, and he said, everyone, Stefan just drunk stone cold tea. And I was like, Adam, a true British drinker of tea, Scottish by the way, does not waste a cup of tea. I think that's sacrilege. So it is what it is. So you've just got to bear it and grunt through the coldness of it and actually enjoy yourself. That's what it is. Well, there you are, ladies and gentlemen. That was the podcast, the Stefan Lee Podcast. Can't even do an outro, Jesus. The Stefan Lee Podcast, second episode. I feel like this is quite nice. It's nice and quiet and collected. It doesn't feel like it's forced. It feels like things are nice and easy. It really depends on how my mood is, depending on if it's going to be a super energetic podcast. The first one was, I think, because of the fact that it was, my first time doing it. And obviously with certain guests, it will be more riled up and enjoyable, and it will, depending on the stories and stuff, there will be a lot of laughter there. So yeah, I'm excited for all that. But thank you for listening this far. I need to think of a word that we get in. Let's say stone cold tea. All right, okay. Stone cold tea is the. Oh, hold on, no, wait. Baltic tea. Yeah, Baltic tea. Right? If you say Baltic tea, then that obviously means that you got to the end of the stream, right? So, or the end of I see that end of the stream. See how used I am to that. End of the podcast. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I will 100% be uploading at least 3 a week. At least I say, because I'll probably just upload this tonight. I don't know if I'm going live, because I had a long boy stream yesterday, and I think I should really get on top of my sleep schedule somewhat, because it's been an absolute shambles lately, and I need to have energy back, dude. I just feel like my energy is kind of waning again, and now the fact that my mum and dad are away and it's just me here, I do have the cats though, which is obviously a respite. I need to stay on top of my health. So yeah, having a good sleep schedule and not drinking, staying off the sass as much as I possibly can, I think is a smart idea. maybe a beer here and there, but no fucking tank and bottles of wine and stuff, man. It's just, I see, the thing is like, I drunk that over 7 hours, but still I wake up and I'm just like, fuck, dude. You know, I think it's just the mixing though as well, like having beer too. I'm very good at drinking, it has to be said. But I need to be careful, because once it gets to that stage where you're just drinking because you're needing to just have a beverage, that's not amazing. You end up going down a dark hole there, I think. And my family has had a history of alcoholism, so I am standing back from that. I certainly don't think I'm an alcoholic. I make fun of it. I'm not sitting here just like, I need to have a beer, you know. And there's a thing, it's whenever you're with the lads, whenever you're with the boys, you know, or even just during this lockdown and stuff, every day feels like a weekend. So it's kind of just like, you know, having a beer in the afternoon is nothing. You know, having a beer at 11 a.m. is nothing, especially if there's football on. Like, the amount of times that I have been to, like, Irish pubs, like, watching a Celtic game and everyone is pissed before 2 p.m. in that place, you know, except from the bartenders. Well, actually, I mean, at times you see the fucking bartenders having a few bevies too. So, you know, it's certainly very much in our culture. It's just that old fucking, I don't know, like, battle way where you never know if this might be your last pint, you know, if the English are going to come and attack you, or the fucking Danes, you know, the Vikings coming in, and it's just like that mentality's still there, but the only thing you got to worry about is, I don't know, a fucking bouncer launching you out. Like, there's nothing really that's going to attack you. Or I suppose maybe a Rangers fan, depending on your affiliation. I never give a fuck about that. That's the thing, like, in my family, my granda on my dad's side was a hardcore Celtic fan, and my granda on my mum's side wasn't a hardcore, but was a Rangers fan. So I was always just in the middle. But my granda Alec, the one, like, whose house is the one I'm in right now, he bought me Rangers shirts as I grew up. So he, like, they would come down every Sunday with my gran as well. Rest their soul. And yeah, it was, you know, I was just going to take that, and obviously I started to support Rangers just because I was given the shirts, you know, it was fine. So yeah, like, I never really thought though, like, those Celtic Tim bastard, you know, I never cared about that. Or do you call them Huns, or is that Rangers? Fuck, see, I don't even know. I never gave enough of a fuck. I think people are far too impassioned about it. It's beautiful to see the brotherhood and people actually be having passion about something, but when it comes to blows because of what colour you're wearing, and sometimes even more than blows, you know, you might get stabbed. That's when it's absolutely ridiculous. You can really see that people only find their meaning in that, you know, and it's a real shame. It's a crying shame, dude. It's actually quite heartbreaking, though, whenever you see that someone's so committed to something like that they're willing to murder someone else just because of who they support, of, you know, 11 men kicking a football around, which is crazy. But it is what it is. I mean, sports is kind of our gladiator thing of today, right? So it is what it is. You know, we're always going to have that tribe mentality somewhere within us. It wasn't that long ago we were still tearing at each other's throats, you know? So, it is what it is. Like, kicking about with swords and that, dude. Watching, like, The Last Kingdom and The Witcher and stuff, I kind of wish that I could still, like, walk around with a sword without having a SWAT team come to my house, you know? But, you know, it is what it is. A lot more dangerous times back then. I don't think we've ever been in a better position to have a pandemic. We very much are comfy people now. The vast majority of the world has the internet and heating and a roof, and, you know, corner stores are everywhere. Like, it's so easy to just get your needs, man, for cheap, so, or at least affordably. Which is, like, the standard of living is obviously significantly higher now. It really does depend, though, and if you're getting enough money, like, if your stimulus checks, if you're in America, oh, fucking hell, man, that pitiful $600, Jesus, dude, that's crazy that America's in that situation. I'm very fortunate. I've had people around me to support me, as well as the fact that I'm in this house, and I've had stream, which has always been able to do from my bedroom, so, or my booth, like I've got here. So yeah, it's interesting how I've kind of dodged it. Like, I think a lot of streamers realized that. Like, they were like, okay, I've kind of got, like, an obligation to be live as much as I can, in order to give people, like, a little bit of respite and something to do. And it's also, like, a good opportunity to go live because, you know, people are going to be home. I feel I've done that to the best of my ability, but I've also had to look after myself this year, or 2020, I suppose. Just because of the fact that, you know, I've had so much happen. Like, see, when I actually just had a moment and like thought back at it, man, I was in tears. I was actually just so taken aback at how much had happened this year. But there's a lot of goodness out there, a lot of new people that I've met that I'm super grateful to know. Yeah, it's lovely. When I look back, though, it's really taught me a lot of perspective. You've got to go through a lot of the darkness to understand what light is, you know. So yeah, I've been very fortunate, boy, and I'm just glad that you guys are here to listen and be around. So thank you very much for listening to the second episode of this. I don't really have necessarily a tagline for finishing, except from 𝗦𝗹à𝗶𝘁𝗵, which is good health, or to good health is what that means in Gaelic. I know nothing else about Gaelic law, but that's it, you know. I know 𝗏𝗁 and 𝗦𝗹à𝗶𝘁𝗵, which means welcome to Minard. Because it says that on the sign outside my old village, you know. That's it, dude. Literally, the government spent like $1 million or something. It was some ridiculous amount of money when, I forget, like it was like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer, on every single sign in Scotland to have some Gaelic on it. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, there's literally 10 people in the island of Skye, or Uist, that actually speak Gaelic, like, properly. Everyone else just knows it, just because of, either those signs, or, you know, they're taught it in school, but then just forget it because there's no need for it, you know? It is what it is. I don't know. It's just how we go. It's interesting how languages fade like that. We'll always still have it, though. There'll always be Old Scots tongue, and Gaelic is obviously there too, so as I'm saying, it will always be around. But yeah, so thank you very much for listening for the third time, and I hopefully will have a guest on for next one, right? I don't know exactly who. I'll work it out. I'll see what's happening. I will just upload them and then post them out, I think, is how we're going to do this. I could do a premiere actually for every video. That might be nice. Just put it out there, on the hour, you know. I'll need to upload this though, obviously, so maybe it'll be like 7 p.m. tonight or something. I mean, that's a good time. Premiering them is nice because it gives you an opportunity to watch it live, as well as you can then have it stored as well, so you can still share that link, and people can watch it later. So, you know, it's kind of a double whammy there, instead of something just being live and then being gone forever. Yeah, so it's good to get to record some stuff, and I'm just glad that your ears are here and your eyeballs are looking at my fucking amazing job completed, excellent work clothes delivered. I delivered some work clothes from 𝗦𝗹à𝗶𝘁𝗵 to Ancona. What a divine champion I am. Let's give it a cheeky little save for Stefan Lee Podcast. I can change that now to second, right? Can I actually move that? I can. Let's change that to second Stefan Lee Podcast, and then we're all amazingly well done. Pardon me, second Stefan Lee Podcast. Yes, thank you. Cheers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, thank you very much for listening. This has been the Stefan Lee Podcast. I have been your host, is that what I say? Mr. Stefan Lee. I've been your boy. It's your boy, Mr. Stefan Lee. Thank you for being here. And 𝗦𝗹à𝗶𝘁𝗵, don't be a cunt.